Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our Namaste Center. It is April 6th, 2014, and it is a great day here, one we've been anticipating for a couple of years. We've tried to make this happen, and finally, I can't believe it's here. It's wonderful wonderful to have you here, and this is our guest today, Dr. Mary Asterita Robol, who is, if you look at her bio, it's this long, and they're all nuggets of great stuff. But if you I would go through it, but that would take up the whole talk. So, Mary is a former, do you say former nun?
Yes.
Okay, former nun, and she is a osteopathic physician, very intense researcher on what's happening on planet Earth, and has great data to back it up, and we're just so honored to have you here. And I would, what I've told the group, as you know, I love Greg Braden's work tremendously. And you very much are in relationship to a lot of what he says, but I also say you're like Greg Braden on steroids. You just really put out a lot of great stuff. So let's give Dr. Robol a real nice welcome. Well, Mary, you know, we're here today, and I want to make sure I get the title of the presentation correct, because it's such a great title. And it is actually The Secrets of Accelerated Ascension and Great Shifts in Consciousness. And
I got it.
Yeah, I had to read it, but I got it. So here we are, and you know, being a former nun, being an osteopathic physician, and your background really doesn't lend itself to the message you wouldn't think so. You wouldn't think so anyway, to what you're expressing here today. So how did you become so interested in all this?
Well, I did a lot of research in physics, in science, in physiology, worked with a lot of people as far as being a physician, and all of this and listening to people with all the symptoms that they present, and taking the physics a little bit, stretching it out, and looking at this planet, what in the world is going on, particularly lately, since it looks like extremes and what's going on. So I moved into that area and made a connection between the changes, which are now in an accelerated state, the changes and what's happening to us. And when do we feel this or that or the other thing? And there we go. But this whole thing made more sense to me when I brought in the whole concept of spirituality and the other dimensions and the dimensions of light. And now it makes sense. It's a monumental shift. We're talking about the galaxy, all the planets, interstellar space, and of course us, and here we are. This is monumental, so this got me so excited, so here I am.
Well, the shift is in the fan for sure. So I'm glad that I don't know if I speak. I think knowing so many of you all as well as I know, that there are some major changes in personal experiences people are having. Huge. So I know you're going to go into great detail this afternoon, but for those that might not be able to make it, what would you say, what's this all about?
It really is all about knowing who you really are, empowerment. And I think Terry Whitten in his songs actually said it in plain English. You have, and quantum physics, which is actually proven that you have tremendous amount of energy right within you. And now the neurophysicists are telling us we have fantastic tools to work with this energy. So we just have to reorient ourselves to know that we can be limitless, and it's absolute science. So we're limitless beings and everything is energy and light. So there you are.
Well,
in a nutshell. But I still want them to come.
Yeah, that's right. Well, you know, of course, Bruce Lipton has written many books on this quantum medicine. And, you know, the old model of Newtonian seems to still be the stronghold. And, you know, do you see that we are evolving past this? It seems like there's a lot of resistance.
There is tremendous resistance. I feel this is what's called the last hurrah for this old paradigm in science. There's a tremendous amount being put out there, but there's also a beautiful underground or underpinning of many new scientists that are coming out in the new paradigm. And some of them are quite famous. And I just recently read that there were several, about 50,000 physicists who have actually turned their attention away from what's being put out there and know and explain climate change in a different way. So there we go.
So we've got
It's
climate.
happening.
Yeah, the climate change is a huge hot button, obviously. And so here we are, you know, major earthquakes. You know, there's these crazy weather patterns. We've had the winter like no other winter here.
That's right.
This year. And some choose to believe one way and some choose to believe another. And so what are your thoughts on all this weather stuff?
My thoughts, well, if I tell you, would they still come to me?
Just give them a teaser.
A little teaser. Actually, there's a beautiful connection, a really beautiful spiritual, or I should say electromagnetic connection between the beautiful star, our sun, and the earth. And I think a lot of that could be explained in terms of our connection with the sun and with our own planet, and the changes that have to take place in order to bring all the negativity out, the lower energy, the lower frequencies, and increase the vibrations to higher frequencies.
Well, that is a wonderful answer and a great teaser, because I know there's a lot more depth to that answer. Well, you know, one person that I saw speak several years ago, I believe it was at the Prophets Conference up in New York, was Mishu Keku. And of course, his big thing now on TV is, when he's being interviewed, is the solar flares. He sees that as being a huge issue on our planet today. Is that part of what you're going to be talking about?
Yes.
Yeah. And I'm sure that you have a lot of great things on that. So do you feel there's an increasing danger there as well, or?
Well, I think the precautions are in place, and we have the top organizations, NASA, NOAA, etc., on watching the sun every second of every day. So, and they're in touch, of course, with the power companies, and if anything has to be done, there will be changes made. But so far, we've been riding along, and I think the sun, being a great cosmic being itself, as well as Mother Earth, they are really riding us through this in the most gentle way possible. I know this past winter didn't seem too gentle. However, I think, despite it all, I think we're really riding the storm very well.
Well, that's good news. So I presume your message is one of, you might want to get over here a little closer, one of optimism and hope rather than gloom and doom. Yeah,
exactly.
Because, you know, again, it's always, I believe, about taking this information and using it as a means of creating light, not to create more fear.
Because that's the whole purpose of the shift, to raise the frequencies, the vibrations of our planet, and everything else is increasing, as well as ourselves.
And we're not the only one involved in this.
No.
I mean, this is multi-universal.
Multidimensional and universal and galactic.
So that's, so do we, this may be a far out question, but do we have support from other environments, or would you not choose to go there?
Since this is a multidimensional shift, and since we are in the third dimension, yes, we have wonderful support. Wonderful support. We have many brothers and sisters of light watching us, supporting us. We have the angelic realm who's always there instantly. I mean, that's it. Protecting, guiding, and supporting us. And then all of us have a beautiful support team within us as well.
Thank you. Well, if we, so we have all these beings of support, and I've often heard that until they're asked, they don't impose on our free will.
Exactly. We ask, yes.
We ask and it
And
is
they're
given.
there. There's no time for them. We ask and they're there.
Well, that's all good news to know. Well, you know, one thing that many scientists have been talking about is the pole shift. And what are your thoughts on that? Did it happen?
There's two kinds of pole shifts, and a lot of fear, catastrophe, and all that business was put out there by Hollywood, about the news, and that group of scientists that are still hanging in there. It's a beautiful shift. It's all of light. Am I answering you?
Yes, yes.
It's all of light, it's all of vibration, and it's all bringing us to a beautiful new paradigm, new dimension, and bringing us to a new, in a way, species, because that's what the neurophysicists talk about, beings of love and light, more heart-centered.
Well, beautiful. So there again, back to the heart math.
It comes back to us, yes.
Yes, it does, and living from our heart instead of our minds.
Exactly.
Well, so it's, you know, there again, just the projections of some is it's going to be a turbulent ride. Do you see it as we're in the midst and it's of the storm, as you said earlier, or will we be shaken up? Do you have a feeling?
You know, you asked me about the pole shifts. There's the geological pole shift and there's the magnetic pole shift. Yes, we are in the midst of a magnetic pole shift, which is really happening very gently, to be perfectly honest. No, we are not in a catastrophic geophysical pole shift. We're changing our magnetics, the whole magnetic grid, and I'll talk about that, to a beautiful grid of love, light, and crystals.
Oh, love that. Well, you know, it's, so the sun, does it have poles?
Yes, and it's shifting.
And the sun is shifting too.
The sun automatically, every 11 years, shifts its poles. And I will talk about that too. And we just currently had, according to NASA about a year ago, it shifted its poles. However, the poles moved back again. So just the other day, they said, oh, now it's really the pole shift. So, you know, things are happening that puzzle all the heliophysicists as well and the scientists. So the sun is not behaving the normal 11-year pole shift, but it's kind of happening. So, and things have changed magnetically with the sun, and therefore with all the solar wind and all the flares we get. So I will talk about all of that.
That's, well, so right now, you know, is together we come here, you know, obviously as a spiritual community, which I think is very important through these times to have that support system. And, you know, we want to help each other through our challenges, which seem like many for a lot of us. I mean, between physical well-being and emotional well-being and jobs and money and the list goes on and on. What are some practical things that we can do individually and collectively to ease the journey?
I think going more and more into the realization of the power you have within yourselves. Really feel it. Go into that level. Go into deeper levels of being. And then knowing that you are more powerful, these other things just fall in place. Because you are the creator, you are the co-creator. Once you really feel that and work with that.
Well, you know, that brings me, you remind me of a statement that Greg said when people would continue to ask him about, well, 2012, you know, people were taking different measures, and he says, people would ask him what's going to happen. And he says, I don't know, it hadn't been created yet because it's the collective.
We're the co-creators, exactly.
Yeah.
And see what's happening now, there's one segment putting out a lot of fear of catastrophe and all of that. But I think people are truly waking up all over. I really do. So the more we override that kind of frequency and that kind of negativity, and there's more and more higher light coming in, it's going to make things much easier. But you know, we're all brave souls to be here now. We're witnessing a fantastic change and a fantastic shift.
Is this going to be something? Yes, shift happens. Is this something you think we're going to see? Is it gradual, or are we going to experience this in our lifetime?
I really truly believe deep within that this is happening in a beautiful way, into a beautiful new species. And I think a lot of scientists, neurophysicists, etc. will say that because we're evolving, but this time we're evolving pretty quickly. And I think you all have evidence of that, because you have little children coming in who are opera singers at the age of 3, 4, who can play the piano at the age of 3, who can do jazz and play drums, and they're only 4 years old. And, you know, we have witness to this. So there is evolution taking place, and it's a beautiful one, and it's gradual, and as gradual as we can take it. But again, as you brought out, it is dependent on our co-creativity together with our inner light, and all of us individually.
Well, I really love your optimism and positivity, because I think I concur with you so much that we need to focus, accentuate the positive, and continue to live in that energy. And this is just supporting so many other theories out there. I mean, you can go to the ideas of law of attraction, and it's all about vibration. So everything really is coming down to that vibration.
Exactly.
And so it doesn't necessarily mean that we have to go out and fix or change anything, but rather just peace begins with me.
Just be and know. Be still and know that I am God. So we've been given wonderful teachings, and we're living it, we're co-creating it, and here we are.
Well, that's beautiful, and I so much appreciate your being here today, and I know we're all excited to spend more time with you today. So is there anything you'd like to share before we wind up here?
No, I'm just very, very happy to be here. Charlotte has had me on the mailing list since I've been out here since 2012?
2011. I think
2011.
Yes, it was 2011.
Yes,
Yeah,
2011, and talk
at the ADL Ministers Conference.
Right, okay. And what a wonderful group of people, and the energy was just fantastic, and this is just like all over again. So it's great to be here, and thank you.
Well, thank you so much, and many blessings to you for all your wonderful work.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.